Hey there, particle people. Today I just wanted to do something a little bit different and give a few tips on how to be better at the Bazaar. A lot of the times when I join this game's Discord, there's a bunch of people complaining that they can't get a bunch of wins in a row and struggle to get 10 wins ever. So, here's a few quick tips to be better and, not suck as much. And keep in mind, I'm no god gamer. I'm not saying that I am perfect at this game, far from it, and I make lots of mistakes. However, I do not struggle to climb in ladder, and I also don't struggle to get to 10 wins. Tip number 1. Think about what's on the board now and what you can do this next combat, not what's going to be 10 combats down the line. A lot of players get obsessed with making these god builds like the one that's on the screen now, but realistically you don't need anything this crazy to win the game unless you're going super late, and ideally you won't do that. It's much simpler to get to 10 wins by winning early and consistently, rather than trying to go for a god build. Grabbing an Aladal is cool if you've already got synergies, but don't try to lean onto it and force it. Anytime you're trying to force a build that you don't naturally have synergies for, you're going to have a bad time. A good example of practicing the proper mentality here is the option I have on screen. I could very easily pick the Aladal, but I won't do that because on day 1, this is a garbage weapon. All the way to day 5 or 6, it's still going to be garbage. I could easily go with the weights or the golf clubs, and both of those could secure me a very easy day 1 victory. Using this tactic, I'm able to move into the next tip, which is be ready to pivot. There are a lot of games where these weights could be used well into the late game in order to secure 10 wins. However, I'm not getting the luck that I need, so I made an error here by not trying to pivot earlier. At least from my perspective, on day 5, it should have been pretty obvious to me that I was getting outpaced dramatically by my opponents. In all fairness, I was streaming in on some banter about something else entirely while this was occurring, but I wasn't paying enough attention and I was too dedicated to a build instead of pivoting out to something that would have saved me. This isn't to say you should pivot frequently, because you should only pivot if you find a good option to do so. Maybe hold some key pieces in your inventory while you're looking to see if you can put the synergies together. Don't make a blind leap of faith. Which leads us to the next tip, which is to never be afraid of keeping items in your inventory. A lot of players will sell anything they're not using in the moment so their gold can be higher, which ultimately doesn't benefit you at all. Outside of a specific talent of Pig, there's no real reason to have a giant gold total, so make sure that you're not just throwing things away that may be beneficial in the future, especially if you're trying to piece together new synergies. And my last little bit of advice if you're trying to become better at the Bazaar is to slow down and never concede. If you concede, you're not going to be able to get out of tougher experiences like the one you're going through at that moment in the future. You'll only be ready to make the optimum builds when fate is on your side. And secondly, this is an asynchronous game. You have no reason to go super fast. Take your time and think all of your moves out. Eventually they'll become second nature to you if you play that much, but they don't necessarily need to. If you're trying to build up gems in ranked or just climb ranks in general, you're going to want to make sure you're taking all the time you can, because ranked tickets are not easy to farm if you're going to be going through normal, and they're not cheap if you're buying them. You get 1 free a day, so make sure you use it to the best of your ability. You thought the video was going to end here, and it was supposed to, but I want to throw in one more controversial bonus tip before ending the video. And that's, I'd recommend one tricking. If you're trying to get really good at the game, it's better to get really good at one character, at least from my perspective first, because it helps you learn their playstyle, and they're all so very different. If you try to take Pigonomics and put it on Vanessa, it doesn't necessarily work the same. I play Pig exclusively in ranked because I'm very comfortable playing him, and I think I'm competent to make the best decisions available. However, I still like playing Vanessa and Dooley. I just do them in normal and sometimes get some free tickets. But I also know there's a bunch of players that are equally, if not more successful in ranked than I am, who play all the characters, interchangeably. I just think that it's easier to learn one character than it is all 3. But with that said, this has been San for Days. Let me know if these helped you at all in the comments, and also, I'm Course, and I get everywhere. Bye now. I just want to let you in on a little secret right now. Did you know that not all Pygmalions are pacifists?